Yo, what's going on to all the 49er faithful out there, man? This is your boy Fran 49er, aka Dre Berry. We have a great show coming on today. I want you guys to go ahead and like and subscribe. Shout out to everybody that is there. Dre Berry. We have a great show coming on today. I want you guys to go ahead and like and subscribe. Shout out to everybody that is there. We have a great show. Hold on. There we go. My bad. So, yeah, we have a great show coming on today. We have a lot of issues that we need to talk about. The NFLPA and the league going back and forth. Raheem Mostert, he has finally made contact with the 49ers to talk about some contract issues that he's going through. Trey Greenlaw, possibly sitting out the season. There is a lot going on. Deebo Samuels is responding to reporters who are making felonious claims. We're going to talk about all of that. What's going on, Dion? What's up? Now today we have a special guest on, Stephanie McCarroll. She was a former 49ers writer. She is the proud host of Fangirl Sports. She is a Cal alumni, and she is also a lawyer. She's a very talented young woman, and I would like to bring her on. Steph, what's going on?
I'm doing well. How are you? Man, a lot of information today coming out.
It's all good. It's all good, man. I appreciate you coming on. I feel like we actually took a little bit too long before we had the voice of a woman who knows her sports, because I feel like women are very important to have a voice in the sports world, right? And we have a lot of women who contribute to the show by, that are fans and that retweet and that comment and that support us constantly. So I felt like it was important to have you on today. I just want you to introduce yourself to the people.
Sure.
Let them know how you got started in this sports world. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah, no problem. So I'm Stephanie McCarroll. Right after law school, I was put into a practice, and when you're put into that practice, you're kind of the rookie and you get all the work dumped on your head. And that law firm represented injured athletes. So that was my very first job as an attorney, was to represent injured athletes. So and that was in the Bay Area, so I represented quite a bit. So I got a lot of injuries on my desk, depositions of doctors, had to really understand the type of injury. And because of that, I had to talk to the athletes themselves and, understand like how they cut and what they do and why they need that body part at 100%. So those were the things that I did for them. And it was really fun. And I was one of the only ones that really loved sports. So it was perfect. It was like a perfect marriage because I loved sports so much. I was a Bay Area fan, grew up in the Bay Area, big 49er fan. And all Giants fan and of course Dubs, but just raised around sports. My dad was a professional athlete, so and then of course I was Cal and I was D1, so it was something that I really love, so I love sports, and it made sense to go into the sports industry, and that's what I do with Fangirl. Is Fangirl Sports Network is where I'm at now. I mean, I have a real job, but Fangirl is my passion. But what we try to do is give a humorous, interesting look, and we direct towards the female fan. We really want to get the females involved because you can still be girly, you can still like makeup, you can still like cute clothes, and explain a 4-3 defense or a 3-4 defense.
Right.
So that's something we want to do, is just empower women and get them, into sports, because we have a lot to say.
Exactly. And, that's one thing about, the 49ers faithful. I have a ton of female acquaintances who are my friends on Twitter who rep the 49ers harder, sometimes harder than I do. They got all of the latest gear. They go to all of the games.
All the Jimmy P.
Yeah, most definitely, man. So I'm definitely happy that you took time out of your day to come on my show. Let's jump into the content.
Okay.
The first part that I want to talk about is 49ers Sports NBC wrote an article stating that Kyle Shanahan is the league's best offensive coordinator in league history when it comes to first downs. On first downs in 2017, he was ranked 6th. In 2018, he was ranked 9th. In 2019, he was ranked 2nd. Going all the way back to 2012, Kyle Shanahan has never been ranked under 5th, all the way back to the Texans in 2008 and 9. How do you feel about that, and what does that say about how excellent of a play caller that Kyle Shanahan is?
I mean, it's impressive. I read the article too from Brian. I think wrote it over at the Bay Area. But the thing that I found astonishing about that article was when you look at what quarterback Shanahan has had under center. I'm thinking Mullins, Bethard, Grossman. Those types of QBs are not exactly, top rated, QBs, and to, be rated, 1 on first downs speaks, it's pretty meaningful. It shows that in this league, if you move the sticks on that first down, you don't have to be in a lot of 3-and-out situations. And so it opens up the playbook. I thought it was really an interesting thing, because if you get somebody even better, like what I shouldn't say we, but what the 49ers have now, is I personally don't play.
right. Nah, but it's we though. We're the faithful.
But it's harder to defend when you have an open up playbook that you're able to use those weapons. And if you really look at the weapons on offense, the 49ers, besides maybe like George Kittle, we don't have these big, glittery names. Exactly. So it's kind of good because it just shows that he's pretty masterful on how he does it, and it works.
Right. Most definitely. Yeah. And, he knows exactly what he's doing. His play, they showed that. Can you hear me? Stephanie, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you.
You can't?
Having technical difficulties?
Hold on. I'm gonna take you off and bring you back on. Hold on. Let's not go through this right now. StreamYard. Can you hear me now? Stephanie, can you hear me now?
You.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me take you off and then hop out and then come back in. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, man. We having some technical difficulties, man. We're gonna wait for Stephanie to come back on. But going back to this article that was written by somebody with 49ers NBC Sports, man. Hold on for a second, guys. My bad. I had to yell at my son and my nephew. That was too loud. But going back to this article, man, with 49ers NBC Sports, man. Kyle Shanahan is in 2008, he was 1st on first downs. In 2009, he was 5th. In 2010, he was 6th. In 2011, he was 9th. In 2012, he was 2nd. In 2013, he was 6th. In 2015, he was 1st. In 2016, like it just keeps on going on. Like he has never been below 6th. And that's an amazing feat. To be able to complete as the NFL offensive coordinator and as a head coach. And going back to last season, before we had the technical difficulties, when I was saying to Stephanie, they showed how Kyle Shanahan was able to run 6 plays out of the same set. That means before the play started, they had the same movements before the ball was snapped, and you just didn't know what he was going to do. And that's just amazing. So I want to get on to the second topic, man. Saturday morning, the league office sent out emails stating to the teams when training camp was going to open up. And for most teams, it was going to be the 21st. But Santa Clara, the city council, they communicated with the 49ers that they wanted to hold off to make sure that they got some safety protocols in line. And the rookies and the quarterbacks and the guys that were on IR are going to be able to go in on Thursday. If you guys seen David Lombardi, he just posted a picture of the actual trailer where they are going to be doing the testing at, and it's right there in the parking lot as soon as the players come on the premises, man. So it's good to see that, and everybody else is going to be able to come on the 28th. So I'm happy that the 49ers and the city of Santa Clara Council was able to come to an agreement, man, because, we don't need all of these issues. The safety protocols is going to be worked out. I find it hard to believe that the NFL is not going to have those safety protocols in place, and let's bring Stephanie back in. We good now?
I don't know what happened.
All right, we're good. I'm just happy that you were able to come back and we got that issue figured out. So I was talking about, Saturday they sent out, the league office sent out the emails stating that training camp was going to start on certain dates. The city council in Santa Clara, they actually pushed it back for the 49ers. Instead of the rookies and the quarterbacks and the guys that were on IR coming in on the 21st, like the rest of the league, the Niners are going to have those guys come in on Thursday. And then the rest of the guys are going to come in on the 28th. How do you feel that, San Francisco and Jed York, Santa Clara and Jed York, should I say, has not had the best relationship, right? They have been on eggshells for a long time, and there's been a lot of back and forths and civil suits and all kind of stuff in Santa Clara. How do you feel that, we're actually able to work this situation out and have the 49ers in training camp by the end of the week?
I think it's good. I thought it was touch and go. Like, I wasn't sure what. I mean, Santa Clara has been pretty tough on a lot of businesses out there. So I didn't see them necessarily, pulling any favors with the 49ers, especially because of their relationship is so trying. But at the same time, like, Thursday's not bad. And I think the priority was to really keep the people safe, keep the players safe, and make sure it doesn't turn into this big host for the COVID virus. So I think that I think they have a good plan. I think Thursday and making sure that they all test and get them in and make sure that they're all quarantined. I think that's a great plan.
Yeah, man, that is an awesome plan because we're seeing what the NBA is doing, and they've tested 346 guys and nobody has tested positive within the last few days, and that's an amazing feat to accomplish, man. So I'm definitely happy to see that. We're gonna move on to the next topic. Despite the pandemic, San Francisco, let's not talk about that. Let's go to the next topic, and it is the "We Want to Play" hashtag. This was started by a few players that are very high up on the pay scale, and how can I say this? I think that it's more of a pity party with the players.
Do you?
Yes. And this is my reasoning, right?
Okay.
So the new CBA says that you not only get fined, it goes from $40,000 a day to $50,000 a day, right? And back in the day, like last year, if you held out, the team was able to give you that money back.
Right.
With the new CBA, you can't. So if you sit out, say a month, that's $1.5 million. That's a lot of money, right? And I think the players were saying, well, we don't want to play preseason. And then they looked at that CBA and they said, well, if we hold out, we're going to miss out on $1.5 million. I don't see any scenario as to why the NFL wouldn't protect their investment. And I think it was kind of like a cry wolf moment for those guys, because the meeting that they had today, where they came to a little bit more of an understanding, this meeting had been scheduled weeks prior. They scheduled this meeting that they were going to have today a couple of weeks ago. So it's not like these issues weren't going to get worked out. Why do you think this hashtag was even started? What do you have some reasoning behind that?
I mean, what I think is that, is to raise awareness, because I don't think people really understand the nature of COVID, and it's pretty gnarly. So if these are professional athletes and the average career is 3.5 years, if they get sick and maybe have something wrong with their lungs or their kidneys or their heart, this could change the game for them. And some people are working on contracts that have no guarantee, money. So, they're basically putting all the risk out and they're not really getting that reward back. And, it's not the owners that are necessarily risking their lives out there. And I think it was just to let them know, raise awareness, let them know where the power is. And really, when it comes down to it, the players have a lot of power. So I think it was fair, at least to raise awareness. I mean, you do have, wives that have maybe a different immune system. Maybe they have an autoimmune disorder. Like, do they really want to be putting their entire family at risk? Or maybe they have the young children, so I don't know. I get it, but it's, it was something that I'm just surprised that the NFL and the NFLPA took this long to hash it out. They've had forever, seemingly, since the draft, and you're going to do this 3 days before the rookies are supposed to report. It just didn't make sense to have all these things. So I think the NFL thought that this COVID virus was going to go away, that it would be summer. I think that they underestimated it, and I think the players are saying, "Hey, you need to protect us," and I think they have every right to say that.
Yeah, most definitely. The only thing that bothers me is, I looked up. So there was guys like Drew Brees, JJ Watt. There, a lot of high priced guys that are out there, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I looked on a lot of these guys' Twitters, and a lot of these guys were training with 10 or 15 guys, cameramen that were filming their workouts, and these guys are not regularly tested. So when it comes to you doing your job that you're getting paid for, you're not willing to take that chance. But at the same time, you're training with guys who are not tested on a regular basis. It's kind of like, bro, on your Twitter, you were just training with 10, 15 guys a few days ago. I don't understand what, what the issue is. But, I player health and player safety is definitely something that's very important, right? Without the players, there isn't a league. But at the same time, it's just you kind of look like you're contradicting yourself, because if you were that worried about your safety, you wouldn't be training with people who are not regularly tested and who you don't know if they have the virus or not.
Right. Absolutely. You're taking a chance every time you go out. If we're being honest here. But at the same time, I think it's a little different reporting for with 90 men in a locker room. And if you do look at the numbers of where injuries occur, especially anything that's contagious, like the MRSA that happened in the NFL, it took over entire locker rooms. And, those locker rooms are just like a haven for anything contagious. It's just like a petri dish. So I think it's a little bit different than going out and going into a park and, doing some drills with 8 guys or whatever, 10 guys. Right. Sure, it's a risk, but it's not the same. It's not the same exact type of risk. And you just want to know, what are we doing here? And I think it was more or less the delay that the NFL wasn't communicating. And I think that that's really hard, because you're going in and you're like, okay, we're just gonna bank on Jesus, or what's going on. So I felt like it was totally warranted. Sorry.
Right. No, it's all good. It's all good. I appreciate that. Okay, let's move on. So Raheem Mostert, of course, a few weeks back, he requested a trade. Today there was a report. It was a Shefty bomb. Basically, he's had some talks with the franchise, and they basically went on to clear some of the air and hopefully get things worked out. I was happy to hear that, right?
Yeah.
I think that I haven't been on the populist train, which everybody is saying, a lot of people are saying, pay Raheem Mostert what he wants. I haven't been that guy.
Neither.
I say, yeah, you're 1 year into your new contract. It's kind of obnoxious, and I think it was disrespectful to go up 1 year after your new contract, knowing that George Kittle is the most important person to get paid right now, and then you're asking for new money. If anything, I think they should fully guarantee his contract. And I think that will settle things. But how do you feel about them, at least having that conversation and breaking the ice and say, hey, we're going to come to the table and just have a conversation and clear the air?
It's good. I think communication's half the battle, especially if, there was an actual trade request. That's pretty taking a hard line at that point. But I understand both sides of it. I think Raheem obviously works very well in the system, in Kyle's system, but I also think he's benefited from Kyle's system. And I don't know if he's really in the power, seat necessarily. I totally understand where he's coming from, but one of the reasons that I believe that the 49ers, that it's not discussed enough, is that they front loaded his contract. So it wasn't that he didn't get any guaranteed money, but that was all front loaded. So he's already received, over $3 million. And So that's all been front loaded. So they basically paid in advance all the guaranteed money, and they did it purposefully because they knew they would be in a situation with Kittle, Juice,
Right.
and having to pay all those things. So they purposefully front loaded that. Now, that being said, I mean, I get the guaranteed money thing, but I think everything in this climate that we have, I mean, we don't even know if in the middle of the season it could be shut down, and then they're going to have guaranteed money out there that's going to affect them for years to come, or it could be dead money. Who knows? That's the thing, is that it's too risky to know. Now, I think they're going to work something out, but there's too much in the air right at this moment to say, okay, I'm going to hold out, or I'm going to, I'm not going to report. I mean, I think that if he wants to go and do that, I think it's bad faith to me.
But bye. I mean, yeah, if that's what you want to do. Like, I mean, $3 million basically means you're getting $1 million every 4 games, right? Do you really want to pay $50,000 a day on fines, bro? Like, you don't make that much money. You can hold out for a month. That's half of your contract, literally.
Yeah.
Do you really want to do that?
I'm big on, I'm very pro player. I've taken calls from the wife. How are we going to make our, especially when there's an injury. I get that when they don't meet their bonuses and their games. I am very pro player because I think that they should, have some protection there. That being said, I think that you have to know that ahead of time when you're signing these contracts. It's not that he's not going to make money this year. It's just that it's not guaranteed money. But he has a lot of performance bonuses that'll probably hit. But the thing is that, it's just unfortunate that it came down to this. It's like he either didn't know the full consequences of the contract that he was signing, or, I don't know. And I hope they work out something, but I don't think it's going to be anything major because I just don't see it. They have $12 million cap space, and they don't even have, Kittle done. So, I mean, and we don't even know what the salary cap is going to be. That's, to me, because that's based on profit from 2020. So if we don't know what the salary cap is in the future, you can't exactly tell them guaranteed money in the future because we don't even know what the salary cap is. So
exactly. Yeah, man. I definitely hope something gets worked out. It definitely changed my personal view of Raheem Mostert as a man. Especially, okay, Steph, let's be honest. He basically has his agent post a tweet and say, we want Tevin Coleman money. It's like, we're going to dangle Tevin Coleman right here. It's like, you don't do that to your teammate, man. Come on, bro. It's just like if somebody came in your law office and they were there for a year, and you've been there, and they say, "Well, I want Stephanie money." It's like, don't bring me into this, bro. I'm not your agent. What's that just kind of bothered me. Raheem, you're a great player. I hope you get it worked out, but that just kind of bothered me. Let's move on to the next. Yeah, most definitely. Next subject, we're going to talk about Dre Greenlaw. He possibly might sit out. Yeah, he possibly might sit out. He's saying that his girlfriend is pregnant, and I totally get it for the safety of your child. I actually gave him props. I was happy that he said it now because I don't want somebody to wait until we're about to play week 1 and then all of a sudden come out and say, "Well, I don't want to play. I don't feel safe." No, that's not. That's not how it's going to work out. Do it right now. We need to know who's with us and who's against us. How do you feel about that? And with there are some more tweets that came out and said that the NFLPA has said they'll do mandatory daily testing. They also said that they will skip the preseason. So I think that kind of addresses some of Dre Greenlaw's fears. But how do you feel about him possibly sitting out the season due to the COVID-19?
I mean, it's tough, but it's something that I think we're going to see across the league. It's it's not an easy decision, and I think it's definitely a personal decision. So I back the athletes 100%. I'm definitely pro athletes, like I said, but I feel like, sorry, I'm getting all these things, and I'm like, what is it? But I feel like with Greenlaw and any other athlete that wants to sit out, it's a real personal decision because this is your health, this is your body, this is your family. And I for one, am not going to say, no, you shouldn't, or yes, you should. I mean, it's really their decision. And
Exactly.
I had COVID.
Oh, you do?
March. I got a positive test, and it's no fun. And I'm still like dealing with some of it. So,
oh wow.
I went through it. Like I did a podcast on it, but yeah. So I was positive in March, on March 17th. I'm still not back to work. So, and I'm not a professional athlete, but and I get it. Like the 10 days was like, I mean, I couldn't even walk, and I had kidney failure. I had to go to the hospital. I mean, all kinds of stuff. And I'm not even in the group that's considered like high risk. So there was all kinds of things and I still have a cough. I have asthma now, which I never had. I was a D1 swimmer. So, hey, I get it. And I mean, and I'm not a professional athlete. Like, I don't know if I'd be willing to put that much risk if I make millions of dollars on athletics,
right?
Like
wow,
are you there?
That is I mean, that's definitely eye-opening. I mean, I wouldn't have known unless you said anything, man. And I mean, just hearing you say that, it's like this shit is real, right? Like, it's not a joke. Like, they're still, we went out to there's a national park, and it's Willisville National Park, and it's here in Oregon. It's actually across the bridge, and we're in Washington, and it's like 180,000 acres, and it's a huge national park. But there were still people walking around without masks, and I don't think that people take this shit seriously until it affects them. Like personally, my uncle and my aunt, they tested positive not too long ago. So I'm just happy that you're okay, that you're getting better. And that you're, yeah, most definitely. Like it's serious. And I think that until it bites you in the butt, people aren't going to take it serious, man. And it's, I support Drake Greenlaw and whatever he does. I'm just happy that we have Joe Walker. He's a savvy vet. He's from the University of Oregon, so I watched him play while he was in college. He was all over the field when we played the Cardinals. He gave us some problems. So if Drake Greenlaw decides to do that, man, we got Al Shire and we have Joe Walker, and hopefully they can fill in for those spots for him because he's a very talented young man. But I'm not going to hold anything against him. It's just going to give somebody else an opportunity. Let's go to the next subject. Peter King.
Yeah, next man up. I mean. That's the nature of the game.
Oh my God. Yeah. Peter King, he comes out, he does an interview yesterday. He basically says that Deebo Samuels could be out until October. Deebo Samuels, today, he retweets him and says, "Do not believe everything you hear in the media. There is nobody who can determine how long I'm out, especially if they don't see the workouts that I'm already putting in while I'm recovering from my injury." How do you feel about sports writers and commentators who have huge names that have been in the game for a long time, who just come out and they just put out these stories and they have no facts to base those stories off of? Like, how do you feel about that?
I mean, obviously, I wish that people had really substantial things, but being in the industry and what I've seen, there are times when you hear things that are pretty concrete, that you're hearing it and it's not necessarily favorable to the team, and it's tough because you have to use that judgment. So I don't know. I think Deebo would be better served if he just.
Oh my God. I don't know what is going on with today, bro, but it is just not a good day, bro. Stephanie was bringing a lot of good information, man. She really knows her stuff. She just told us some stuff about Raheem Mostert's contract that I don't even know about. These technical difficulties keep happening, man. But, I'm going to touch on the Peter King thing, right? For him to tweet that out about Deebo Samuels is total BS, right? Like, there's no way that you should be coming out with stories on big platforms with no facts to base those stories off of. Like, I understand if Deebo Samuels has to sit out to October, because if you guys look at it, the season starts at the beginning of September. First 4 games. They're not very hard games. We're going to be playing in the AFC East. The very first game, that'll probably be a tough game. That's against the Cardinals. They got a lot lot better. Tony, what's going on, big baby? But for Peter King to just come out and say, well, Deebo Samuels is going to have to sit out to October. Even if he did, like, Peter, shut up. Like, you don't know what the hell you're talking about. And I feel like when you're in this business, you have to be a lot more responsible with what you say and what you report. And we have Stephanie back.
I don't know what's happening. I don't know if it's my internet or what.
It's all good. I'm just happy that you're back. Hold on real quick. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
So back on the Peter King story, like I was saying, I think it's BS. I don't think that you should be, coming on big platforms and saying that type of stuff if you don't have any facts based upon what you're saying, right? I think everything should be fact-based, right? Now, you can come out and say, I don't have any facts behind this, but this is how I feel, and this is what I think is going to happen. But he didn't say that. He says that he feels like Deebo Samuel is going to have to sit out to October. So how do you feel about that, and what do you think about that?
I don't know. I mean, I've seen those injuries. I've represented athletes that have that injury. It's a tough one because what I understand from it, and I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but I've deposed doctors on those types of injuries, and the blood flow doesn't really flow to that part of the foot. So it can be tricky. So sometimes it heals just normally, everything's fine. Other times it takes a lot longer. So I'm not sure, I'm not the doctor. I mean, I trust everything he's, says about his own, and you have to be able to fight. But a lot of it's just sitting back and waiting and letting it heal. And there's no control over that. Like, as much as Deebo probably wants to play, there's no control over everything with your health, and especially when it's an injury like that, because the bones have to heal a certain way. You want it to take the first time. That surgery has to take the first time. If it doesn't, it's going to give you problems and problems and problems. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not a doctor, but I feel like it's great to be positive, and I appreciate his positivity. But that you have to be able to plan. I mean, attrition is part of football. So if he, for some reason, can't step up, then somebody else has to. So the 49ers, from an organizational perspective, looking at everything.
Right, most definitely. Yeah, Peter King is a very respected writer. He knows his stuff, but hopefully that's not the case. Even if it is, October is, the beginning of October, it's only 4 games in. He'll be well rested and he'll be ready to go. So there was another tweet that was put out, and this is talking about D Ford. It says that D Ford had a sack rate of 23.1%, and he was limited to 162 snaps last year. If D Ford is able to push that number to 400, he's looking at a 17 sack season. How do you feel about that? And do you feel that D Ford will actually be able to stay healthy, making this 49ers defense a lot more potent?
Yeah, I mean, I do. I have a lot of faith in D Ford. I think he's a fantastic athlete, and I love him paired with Bosa, because I think they both do different things, and you have them both coming at you, and they work in tandem. So I think, who cares who gets the sack? I mean, I really don't care, but just as long as one of those two gets to him, and of course, we have Greenlaw coming in, but it's a really great front, and I defense is definitely my favorite aspect. So, I think he's fine. I don't really believe in the whole, he's injury prone thing. Injuries happen. They just do. And especially in football. I mean, there's lawyers that do this because there's so many. I mean, literally 90% of all football players get injured. It's just how bad do they get injured, and can they come back and win? So, it's going to happen. So I don't really believe in that whole injury prone thing. I think D Ford, if he, I'd like more platoon. If Solomon Thomas can come in and take some snaps, he gets some rest, and then bring him in. And that's what I would like to see. And I think it's certainly possible with the lineup they have.
Right. Most definitely. Most definitely. Yeah. You know, like I said, this is why, you know, we wanted to have somebody that is credible, especially knowing that you were a lawyer for the players. Like, that was your job. You know, that's just awesome. And like I said, we have women who support the 49ers, who support our platform. And I think it was very important for those women to come on Niners All Day and see, like, hey, okay, I relate to you because I'm a woman and I support the 49ers. And, you know, I'm just as much as a diehard fan as any man out there, right? And so I definitely appreciate you coming on. You know, there were some things that I learned today, especially with the Raheem Mostert contract. I didn't know that it was front loaded. I didn't know that he already got paid $3 or $4 million. Like, I didn't know that. And a lot of people out there thought that his contract was non-guaranteed, but you did this for a living and you know this stuff. You've probably seen it broke down the contract. So I'm happy that you were able to come on. Go ahead and plug the people who are watching and let them know what your platform is and how they can find you.
Sure. So I am So Callie Steph on Twitter, and that's SOCALISTEPH. And on my podcast and with Tracy Sandler, we actually have two different podcasts. We have Fangirl Playbook, where we help women understand the games and sports in general, and it's a safe platform where you're not felt like you're not told what to do, so you can really learn quite a bit there. And then also we have a Get My Job, and we interview women in sports, and we really show how women can do this like that just as well as the man, and cover sports just as well as the man. And it's passionate, so it's fun, and we really want to support women out there that want to know more about sports.
Most definitely. Most definitely. With that being said, Stephanie, I really appreciate you coming on. I will be in contact. I just subscribed to the Fangirl Sports, and I'm definitely going to check that out. And, you know, for everybody else out there, to all of the ladies out there, or even the men out there, man, if you want to hear a knowledgeable woman talk her stuff, you know, go support, you know, her platform, because I feel like 49ers faithful, we should all support each other. I don't give a damn if it's 50 platforms. Everybody support each other, man. It's not going to do anything but help each other. So with that being said, Steph, I want to thank you. I hope that you get better, and I hope that you feel better and recover fully from this COVID-19 thing.
No problem. I had a blast. This is fun. Go Niners.
Thank you so much, Steph. I'll talk to you later.
All right, bye.
All right, bye-bye. Yeah, man, that was awesome. Like I said, I think it was, you know, a long time coming. I felt that we should have done it a little bit like a long time ago, just to have someone that the ladies could, you know, basically identify with, because like I said, I feel like the women are just as important as the men. Like, you know, when they spend their money on merchandise or on tickets, it goes just as far as the dollar that we would spend, right? And I feel like, you know, that is very important, man. You know, having a woman's voice talking about football is really important, because there are women who support this platform and who support the 49ers just as hard as the next person. And I felt like that was a conversation that we should have. I wanted to address something that I've seen. Grant Cohn is a buddy of mine. You guys know that. He's done plenty of shows. As a matter of fact, he's the first guy to actually, you know, come on our show and help promote our platform. And he broke down some clips and put them on his channel. And there was some people saying that I was not professional because I was vaping on camera while I'm doing the show. I don't understand how that's unprofessional. My buddy Mike on Nothing But Niners, like, he'll have a glass of scotch and, you know, he'll have his cigar and tell you what type of cigar he's smoking. That's not unprofessional. That's just him showing you who he is and enjoying what he does while he gives you guys great content. I cannot be who everybody thinks I should be. Like, I can only be who I am, right? And I can't appease everybody. You know what I mean? So if you feel like you can't support me because I decide to vape while I'm talking about 49ers football, then I totally get that, right? But at the same time, I'm not going to be disrespected by anybody. And I responded to this guy. And so, hey, man, I guess that I can't appease everybody, but that's not what I'm here for. I am here to give you guys the best possible content that I can. And when I'm not doing that, you guys get in the comment box and say, hey, Dre, like I wasn't feeling that last episode. You could have said this, you could have said that, you could have did this better, you could have did that better. So to that fella who thought I was unprofessional because I vape on camera, hey, I apologize to you, but I have to be me and I have to do what makes me comfortable and do what I like to do on my platform. So if you want a more professional platform, I'm gonna tell you what to do. There's 2 steps. A, you get a Google account. B, you create that account on YouTube and you create your own platform and you can do it however you want. But until then, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to on my platform. That's what I do. I'm going to do what I want to because me and my brother Bronze, we put countless hours into this shit and we do what we want to on our platform, period, point blank. Yeah. With that being said, man, we're going to have another show coming on tomorrow. It's going to be with my brother Tony. He just told me in the chat to hit him up. And I am definitely going to do that. So we will be back tomorrow, probably around the same time. I don't know. I'll probably have to hit up Tony and see, what his schedule is looking like. And we're going to be back to probably talk about some of the same subjects. You know what I mean? And there is a lot of things happening. And right now is the most exciting time. Like we know that that the rookies, the IR guys, and the quarterbacks are going to be there on Thursday, right? We know that everybody else is going to be there on the 28th. So there's about to be a lot of content that we're going to be putting out. I'm probably going to be doing content like on a daily basis from here on out. I feel like we gotta get on that. It's like a wave, right? It's the calm before the storm, and the storm is about to start, and that wave is about to get going. And once it starts going, man, you have to stay on top of it. So I'm definitely going to get a lot of content out to you guys. I'm sorry for, we were having some technical difficulties. The stream wasn't working right. I guess Steph, she was having a little bit of problems with her Wi-Fi, but I'm happy that you guys stuck out. You guys stuck with me. I appreciate you guys being here with me. Like or dislike if you didn't like it. Like, I respect that. Subscribe. And we will be back with you guys tomorrow. We're going to do a lot longer show tomorrow. So, man, I'll holler at you guys. You guys have a great, blessed evening. Peace out.